In a world where we're often too quick to judge on appearances, focus on ourselves, or find ourselves in a rush, this show is a reminder to slow down. Taste Exchange is a project that goes beyond the meals and happy hours and connects with the thoughtful human creators behind each experience. Lo and I will sit down and try and uncover what it is that connects all of us to the story of a life. Each of us is distinctly unique, yet we are all very connected. This is Taste Exchange. Welcome to our show.
Whitney is currently the Chef de Cuisine at the Grand Bohemian Hotel in Charlotte. Prior to that, she's held basically every role in a kitchen, been a consultant, and became an executive chef before turning 30. Her motto is food, family, life. It's evident in her spirit and in her cooking. Her curiosity, innovation, and hard work give her an incredible edge, and we know this is just the beginning of what she's going to accomplish. Without further ado, enjoy our conversation with Whitney Thomas. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
So my background isn't traditional as most chefs, their backgrounds are. I didn't go to culinary school, so I started cooking at 3 years old with my grandma. She had a large family. We had a large family. She had 8 kids, and then all her kids had kids. So, family dinners and holiday dinners and, Sunday dinners were a big deal. It's kind of like, large scale cooking, kind of like my first taste of, I guess you say catering, I'm cooking for a large amount of people. Cooked from her all through growing up. I was, in school, did well in school, top 10 in my class, went to college. All my friends kind of all stuck together going to college. So we went to UNC Chapel Hill. I went for 3 years, and at the end of my junior year, I was like, I don't see myself doing this. I went to school for exercise sports science and African American studies because I was an athlete in school. So, like I said, I wanted to always stay near sports.
What did you play?
I played basketball, I played soccer, ran cross country. So definitely big into sports. I had a, awakening at the end of my junior year, and it's like, do you really want to do this? And it's like, no, I don't see myself being anywhere other than in the kitchen. So I left school. I had a full ride. I didn't pay for anything. So my mom was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you having a breakdown? I'm like, no, it's like, it's kind of a waste of my time waste other people's money, for me to go and do something that I'm not going to see myself doing for the rest of my life.
I'm really curious, when you were in your junior year, was there something you said you just kind of had this reflection moment? Where do you think that came from?
Honestly, I don't know. It was just like one morning I woke up and I was just, because I look back at going to college and I feel like it was something that I did just because it was something that everybody around me was doing. Like my friend group, we all went to the same school. Because I turned down a scholarship for soccer in South Carolina because, I wanted to follow my friends, and I wish I hadn't, honestly. I wish I could have jumped right into the culinary scene, and maybe things would have been a little different. But I'm here now.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason for that path. And for all the things.
Yeah, it was a good experience going to college. I had some fun, learned some lessons. But yeah,
I think we all have.
Yeah, definitely made me who I am now, and
Work you have put in started to pay off in a way where you're like, I can do this. I'm good at this. When did that hit you in your career? How long did you think that took?
Honestly, I think it was about 2012 or 13 when I first made sous chef, because just line cooking for the first couple of years, and then shift lead, and then because in my mind state, in the beginning, I thought that was impossible for me to achieve just by not having a culinary background. So when I first got that, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can do this, even though people tell me no, even though I don't have the background, maybe, I can do this. And then I took it upon myself to work at my craft outside of work. I mean, a big part of, being successful is the ownership of your craft. And it's not just ownership of your craft while you're in that environment. It takes, off days, researching things, reading books, testing stuff out at home. I cook all the time at home. And, a lot of times I'm just on my phone, looking at different recipes, different people's plating, how they use different ingredients, and that inspires me. Or if I ever get a chance to go out when I'm not working, I try to go to restaurants that, are doing something different and try to draw inspiration from that. And something that's gonna get my creative juices flowing, oh, maybe I can do that, maybe I can do it better, just something to keep me, trying to achieve the next level. And I only worked for him for 6 months, but Chef John Bobby, he out at Winston-Salem, he was at Roosters, the Noble Grill, and he really taught me the aspect of using everything, whole animal, all the vegetables, for instance, beets, we would either dehydrate the tops, powder them, and use it to color pasta. Even when it came to different kinds of cuts of meat, for instance, we did an awful dinner one time, and we used a pig, and we used all parts of the pig, even down to putting the snout of the pig on the end of a terrine. So just being resourceful and using everything, and because you want to be profitable at the end of the day too. So that also helps me when it comes to the business aspect, as how can I cross-utilize this? How can I get more than one use out of a product? So yeah, he's definitely had the majority influence, I say, on the way I cook.
That's incredible, just to think about using all the parts. And I've heard that in different instances, and you want to respect the animal as much as possible too, right? It's sacrificed for you, and so it's also honoring that. Yeah. And not wasting food. It's a huge problem in America.
Absolutely. Food waste it's one of the biggest problems we have, and it's bad for the environment too, because of the amount of waste. Because we're not composting a lot of things; it's just going to the landfill and rotting. There's a chef I had in Greensboro, Printworks Bistro, Jared Hug. He's the one that took the first chance on me becoming a sous chef, even though I didn't have an experience. So he was one that you foster somebody's growth, and you allow them the space to grow, to make mistakes, and to be themselves. So he's one that I kind of look at, leadership wise, just because of how he allowed me to become who I am today. He was the first one that gave me a chance. So, and that's what I kind of do. I don't really, when I hire people, I don't, go for the, your resume, that doesn't really make you. It's who you are, the drive you have. So you may have an awesome resume, and I take that into account, but you could have no resume, and you could be awesome. I got 2 twins downstairs in the kitchen now. Their experience, they worked at Panera Bread, and now they're in this restaurant downstairs, and they learned 2 stations, and we opened in August, and it's February, and in 6-7 months, the growth that they have, and most people wouldn't took a chance on them in this kind of restaurant because of the experience they have. And then another girl I have downstairs, Sonia, she was with me at Five Church. She left Five Church to come here, and Five Church was her first kitchen job. And now she's learned every station in the kitchen: saute, grill, garmager, oven. She's learned it all. So it doesn't matter what's on a piece of paper. It matters, your work ethic and what you have. And she's kind of like me. I didn't have the experience and I didn't have the pedigree, but you got the will to work and the will to learn. So that it makes you who you are.
Yeah, it's what's in here.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yep.
That's what we talk about all the time.
I don't like to be really pigeonholed into one type of cuisine. So I like, because I've done a lot, so I like to, borrow here and there from different cuisines, whether it's French, Italian, South American, Mediterranean, Asian. So a lot of my cooking is like borrowing from different kinds of cuisine and putting it all together on a plate and making it making it a cohesive dish. Because a lot of the things that I do here aren't strictly South American. A couple dishes that I'll do later, 2 of them are just like features that I've ran in the restaurant and they were well received. And then I'll do definitely a dish from the menu, the oysters. It's more Mediterranean influenced. So yeah, just trying to meld all this together that I've learned over the years and put it together.
Yeah, I love that. Because that's what it is, right? It's like, that's how you create the best stuff, is pulling it together. And like you said, not trying to imitate what's out there like a South American cuisine. It's like, how can I pull these together and make something new?
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
a really cool part about creating to me.
Exactly. And I think sometimes people make mistakes by trying to be too authentic. I mean, because I'm not a South American chef. So, I could, try to be 100% authentic and drop the ball. But if I, stay true to who I am and the chef that I am and just use these, whether it's ingredients or techniques to influence, what I'm already doing, I think it comes across.
What's your favorite thing to make? Like, if you were just gonna make something for you.
I don't cook for myself. I don't. So Taco Bell. But if I am cooking, I like to be tested when I cook. So my favorite thing is like when I go to friends' places or when people come to my house and they ask me to cook for them. I'm like, what do you want? And they tell me what they want. It's like, it also gives me opportunity to learn something new. So I like, okay, well, you want this. So like, say for instance, somebody's favorite thing is the orange chicken at PF Chang. Okay, let me look at authentic orange chicken and see how it's made, and I'll make that for you. Because like being a chef, you already have the techniques, you just need the recipes. So doing the research and making it based on recipes, it's also, brushing my skills up and, expanding the horizons.
What's something you've learned about yourself just over the past 10 years?
I think I've learned this my entire life. I'm stubborn and I don't want to be told no. And I don't take no for an answer. So, but
how has that helped you?
It helps me. It helped and helps me because it just is having a belief in yourself, and what other people say, opinions don't really matter. What you believe and what you know is in you at the end of the day is everything that matters. So yeah, I mean, just I've always known I was stubborn. My mom told me that since I was a child. You're stubborn. But yeah, I just go after what I want. I see it, I want it, I'm gonna try to get it.
Yeah. Well, and it's really interesting too, because that made me think about the people who you said took a chance on you. And so they saw something in you, and the drive and the desire, the heart to be this girl's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wanting it, and not only wanting it, but having the work behind it to actually get it. Because people want it, but it's anything is possible if you work for it. You can want it and not put in the work, and then you're upset when you don't get it. But if you put in the work, and you're gonna get it, because hard work pays off no matter how long it takes. Hard work does pay off.
Absolutely. Well, and I think the hard work does pay off, but what you said earlier, actually, the willingness to not take no for an answer. I'm gonna keep going back, and I'm gonna keep going back because this is what you want to do, and this is what lights you up.
Yeah.
So.
Because I've been told no so many times in my career. No, you don't have the experience. No, you haven't been in culinary school. Or sometimes it's no, you've had a lot of occupations. And it's like, yeah, I've had a lot of occupations, but if you look at my resume, it's always progressive and it's always forward movement. It's never a lateral movement. So you can't fault somebody for wanting to be better and do better. So yeah, I've been turned down for jobs because it's like, well, you hop. I'm like, I hop when the opportunity presents itself for me to be better, so it's never, I'm gonna take a step back and I'm gonna hop, I'm gonna leave because I'm unhappy. I leave for a better opportunity for myself.
If there's something you can tell your 21-year-old self, that you think would have the most impact on where you are today? What is that?
It's trust the process. Because like I said, at 21, when all my friends had graduated and they were finding jobs, and I was, working 3 jobs, at an hourly rate, not even a good hourly rate. I was getting kind of down on myself, and trust that, it's not your time. I mean, your time isn't everybody's time. Somebody may have made it by 19. Somebody may make it by 21. It took me a little longer to get where I wanted to be, but I got there. So it's just like not even trust the process, is trust your process, because your process is not everybody else's, and your growth isn't going to be everybody else's.
That's so powerful. Trust your process. And I love that reframe of not trust the process, trust your process. Wow.
Yeah, because everybody has a growth process, and it's not. Nobody's is the same.
Right. And no one's is linear. Yeah. It's all a bunch of squiggly lines, and we're all figuring it out. And then, we're still making progress though. And I think the difference is progress doesn't have to be forward. Progress can be like, oh, cool, I'm coming over here. And it's a very winding road.
Exactly. There may be a couple steps back, but as long as you, look and propel yourself to the next step, no matter how many steps back you take, as long as you're constantly focused on, an end goal, or even just being better, that's your process.
Right. Because is it step back, or I have to learn something here?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. In this industry, because if you know culinary, it was modeled off of military and the brigade system. So I get people want to be treated fairly and all of that, but to try to make something what it started out, is completely different from what it is. It's kind of hard to put them together, because it's in my opinion it is, so that's something that I work on a daily, and also
being true to yourself too.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
Yeah. And also I struggle with perceptions of being an angry Black woman, because that's always a perception of a Black woman when you are assertive, when your boss sees that you're angry. So that's something that is a struggle of mine also. I don't want to be that typical angry Black woman.
That's more on other people though.
Yeah, but they always tell you perception is reality, so if that's how I'm perceived, then that's something that I have to, kind of work on, even though their perception may not be right.
Yeah. And I think that's the work that we have to do as a society, to start to break down these biases or preconceived notions we have about people, whether you're a Black woman or an Asian or male, female, whatever, that we all have, and so I think just stay true to you. I think that's super important. And then, it's how can we have, not necessarily you, but just as a society, how can we have more conversations that are allowing for more understanding? Because that's all it is at the end of the day, compassion and understanding.
And that also, the understanding will come with, representation, because representation matters, and if there are white faces in every place of management, they don't understand. Their perception is just from what they've experienced. So say if you had more minorities in those spaces, then their perception is, oh, this person is reacting not off of emotion, not off of that's just that's that person, right. And it's not them being angry, it's just them being passionate, because a lot of people confuse passion with aggression, and they're completely different.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny, like you said too, oh, Gordon Ramsay can do this, or a lot of, we've now come to know that, as in many cities, the restaurant scene has been predominantly run by older white males. Mm-hmm. And so when that's all you see, that becomes okay behavior for certain individuals, but then that's not accepted for everyone else. It's what's going on here? Exactly. Yeah, so I totally hear you, and I love that you're in this position, and we're super excited for your growth. But yeah, we'd love to see more diversity within the restaurant industry. To kids who are watching this, or a little Black girl watching this, what would you tell her?
Don't take no for an answer. If you feel that it's right, then make it happen yourself. and those opportunities aren't always gonna be handed to you. You have to literally go out and make them sometimes. So yeah, just keep pushing and don't take no for an answer.
Yeah. And trust your process.
Trust your process, yes.
You're an amazing role model. You're an amazing person. I'm so pumped to try your food. And I'm like pumped to be your friend now.
Awesome, new friends.
Like, what drives you to prepare the best meal possible? Like, what is it that gives you satisfaction?
I think honestly that stems back to being 3 cooking with my grandmother, because food was a way of bringing people together and like showing your love for somebody. So with the concept downstairs, Miko, it's an open kitchen. So like being able to see guests, being able to have guest interaction, like it makes me feel good to make somebody else feel good when it comes to when they see the food, when they taste the food, the experience they get. So yeah, that is my main motivation is, just that's, I think hospitality in its essence is, making other people, whether it's, from the server to the chef to whatever, you're making somebody's experience and you're trying to make them, have a better experience. And like we say here, we create inspiration to have, and have inspired guests. So like if my food inspires somebody or, inspires them to have a better day, then, I did my job. And then all my mother's side of the family, I'm close to them because when they split, it was we didn't have too much contact with my dad's side. It was all mom's side. So all of them I'm super close with. I don't get home as much because I'm working all the time. So I'm home with my sister and my nephew.
I have to sleep,
yeah.
So.
They'll pile in the car and they'll drive 2 hours to come to Charlotte and see me. Even if they're coming to the restaurant just to eat, they'll come down. Come down because Greensboro's north of here. So yeah, they'll drive down and see me. And then like everybody back home, they're constantly online looking at the things I'm doing, rooting for me back home. So yeah, I'm real close and I love my family.
What does that mean to have the support of your family and friends?
Honestly, it means everything. Because, at the end of the day, if this all went to shit tomorrow, I could, go back, and wouldn't have an issue. So just knowing that you have somebody that's always going to be there, that's just everything.
Yeah, and the fact that you've made time for family despite how busy you are says a lot.
Let them tell it, I don't make any time.
Well, as much as you can, right? The fact that you still have connections with your family and friends and that you have friends, like given the number of hours you work is, I think says a lot about your character and that, you're doing the best you can, obviously. And it's not gonna be like this forever. Yeah,
like family is definitely very important to me. I used to, have a, back in the day, Instagram bio, it was food, family, life, because that's like really all I need. And like I consider family, friends as well. So like if I got my career, in food, and I have like friends and family, good people around me, that's all I need to be happy, honestly. Like, cause then the money, as long as I got enough to be comfortable, I'm not really looking for fame. I want to be successful. I want to be famous, So like, if I got, good people and good food, that's really all I need. Honestly, just getting to this point in my career without, having the training that most people have. And that's the thing that I'm most proud about. And one of my goals when I started getting traction in this industry and getting management position was I want to be an executive chef by 30, and that I made that happen by 30. I was exec at 5 Church. So yeah, that and just being where I am today with just hard work. I want my own spot and the freedom to do everything that I want to do. I don't want to be, I don't want to have a niche restaurant where all I can do is one thing. I want to be able to do everything, all kinds of cuisines, and I want to be able to, kind of put all the years that I've been in the industry, make it show for something. Today, I'll be making 3 dishes. I'm gonna do the stuffed oysters that are on the menu downstairs. It's a Carolina Dream oyster. It's a local oyster in North Carolina. It's going with harissa cream spinach, so I'm playing with those Mediterranean flavors. So it's kind of like a Rockefeller, but Mediterranean style. And then I'm gonna do 2 duck dishes because you said that my favorite, and duck is like one of my favorite proteins. I don't really eat fish a lot, and I love red meat, but I've been paying attention to all the negative about livestock and how it's taking effect on the environment. So duck is a little healthier, but I still get my fix of red meat. So yeah.
The lemon foam and all the flavor in here. Oh my gosh. There's just such a good combination of flavors.
Is a winner there?
Good.
Yo.
See, that's why I do it. That's why I do it.